Who are you and what do you do?
So I'm Joe, I'm a member of Freehand.
And I'm Louise, and I'm the Young People's Coordinator, which means that I run Freehand.
Alright, how did you plan the event?
So first of all, we got in loads of submissions for films, so in relation to a theme that we all decided was appropriate, which was imagination, and then we all judged those films, give them marks out of 10 on different aspects, and from that point we then kind of decide which ones we know is appropriate and then we build up the viewing journey, so it's almost like we curated. That goes on the show reel, and then whilst we're in those meetings as well, we also talk about the event. So we will organise different aspects of it, so everything down to the host, we'll script that, how we want it lit, what might the audience do when they come in, like sometimes you have refreshments and we need to plan that as well, what we're going to do after sometimes, and kind of what's the structure going to be on the night, so are the hosts going to get up in between films, the intervals when they're going to get up and plan that, guest speakers, so sometimes we have the CEO who sometimes has something, and so we need to build something for him to get up, create the space for that. So just generally the time, and stuff like that, and the meeting and greeting as well, so people can collect tickets.
How long in advance did you give yourself to plan the whole thing? When did you start?
We normally do it in about a few months, so I'd say like 4 or 5 months, but there's only about maybe 3 of that, maybe not even 3 months where we're constantly working on it. We would firstly create a theme, the call out, and do the marketing, and then we would leave it for about 6 weeks while we're waiting for submissions.
Alright. What mistakes did you make?
Last year we stupidly didn't light the cinema properly, because of course it's a cinema, it's really dark. So a lot of the hosts, I was watching it and a lot of the hosts were talking in quite a lot of darkness.
Nice, because nobody could see my face.
Yeah, but the audience members wanted to see your face, so that was a major error. So we're hiring huge lights.
Also as well, I think in the past we've had like sort of script in hand, which seems a bit, it's a bit awkward, especially when you need to turn a page and you find yourself stumbling about, and it's like being in a Chaplin film all the time. But then from that, I think it's important to kind of learn from those.
How did you go about the submissions process then?
Well, we would decide on the theme, and not every year it generally is the same sort of thing, like you have to be aged between 13 and 19, have to live in Merseyside, and the film has to be under 10 minutes. So we'll get that all together and we will come up with a call out, and we'll send that out over lots of different channels. We'll email all our contacts, we'll write letters to schools and colleges and universities, first year students. We'll put it all over Twitter and Facebook and basically bombard people with it. And then people will it's on our website as well as on FACT's website, so people can download the submission form from there, and then they fill it out and send it in, and you tend to find that people won't send it in until the very last minute. I was worried this year because we didn't have any until the final week, but then they all just came flooding in towards the end, so I was like, phew.
What kind of marketing program did you do apart from the Twitter and Facebook and college things?
Well, that's it really, because we don't have much of a marketing budget, to be honest. So
word of mouth is important. So
yeah, word of mouth is really important.
A lot of my friends kind of entered, or people, friends, told my friends about it, and they didn't know anyone that's interested.
And colleges are really important as well, and schools. Like, we don't work directly with them, but teachers will tell their students about it. But we get posters. Young people always design the posters themselves, and we'll get them printed and put them in our building and put them in local shops, and think about like film groups and youth clubs and things like that. We contact youth clubs, and then I'll do a ring around as well to remind people, because people are really busy, so they forget.
How many submissions did you get when did
This year we've got I think about 51, and last year we had about 47, so it's going well, which is good, but it's a lot.
Is it growing every year?
Yeah.
I think I said earlier on sometime, I think the first ever one, there was hundreds, and it was really sort of agonising process, because I mean, it was just sort of, we had to sit there and just sort of really work hard, and it took us, it was difficult.
Yeah, last year it was hard to get through it all. because we only meet for 2 hours basically. But what we did was, like this year, like that was a mistake we made last year. We didn't give ourselves enough time. But this year we've, like for example, it's half term this week, and we've set full days where we're judging, and we've actually booked one of the cinema spaces at FACT, so we can watch them on big screen, which is brilliant.
How would you work together as a group, like dividing up your jobs and making decisions?
Well, yeah, usually people tend to just kind of move into what they're interested in. A lot of the time, for instance, this year we had a sort of a system where people would say what they'd like to do. So if you wanted to be a host, you'd put that down on a list, and then depending on how many people would say it, we then choose that. So everyone's, it's important that everyone's got a common ground as well. So if people can work together, because if people have got different ideas, you need to be working towards a common goal.
I think people have like first, second and third choice,
yeah.
didn't they? So if there was 3 people saying they wanted to be a host, they had a second choice that could be used as well. So yeah. Everyone gets on really well, there's not really any sort of problems. We have a documentary team as well, we do a documentary on the night. I think last year a lot of people really wanted to do that, and then they realised it was actually really hard work. They were all absolutely exhausted by the end of it, so we're just running around trying to interview people and stuff.
And this year as well, we've got a team of performers as well this year to do different things as the audience are coming in.
What are the most important things to remember when, I don't know, for the whole thing or just the night's event?
Enjoy it, don't worry too much about it, and think about what people want to watch, what is interesting. Try not to think about films as individual things. That is really important, but try and think about it as a whole programme and what people would see a poster of and think, wow, that looks amazing.
Do you have any tips for marketing our event?
Be creative. Try and think of ways that you can do it quite cheaply, but in an unusual way that people might pick up on and think, you've got those like the QR codes at the moment, things like that, or doing a competition on Twitter or something that's going to capture people's imagination. I think that's quite an interesting way.
Even just the obvious one, like you said, with Twitter and stuff like that, so social media. It's just, it's almost becoming a sort of like a really popular form of communication. Like everyone is doing it, and it's the quick way to contact people for free.
And keep it simple. If you're printing anything, don't put too. Just keep it really simple and bright. You need to get people's attention.
What's the most enjoyable experience that you've had doing it?
I think that would be just the whole process together, because I first stumbled into the project accidentally because I was involved in Film Club, which was just a group of people who meet up and watch films and then critique them, and I accidentally ended up in Liverpool Film Night. So that's somehow, I don't know, I think I turned up on the wrong day, something like that. But and it was from that point on, I think I've been doing that for 5 or 6 years, and I think every aspect of it is highly enjoyable, because once you see it come together, that's the most enjoyable part. The feeling of relief and euphoria you get to talk about, and kind of you see what you've done, and it's a really nice thing, and it really helps with progress.
It's great when you see young filmmakers who have just made a film like in their bedroom by themselves winning an award, and they can't believe it. That's always
even the ones who haven't won an award as well, to get your film shown on a cinema screen, and quite a popular cinema at that as well, is it's quite a big achievement, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is there anything that you do differently next time you put it on?
Well, we've still got to put it on this year.
Maybe talk about what we've done differently this year.
Yeah, I think this year's much more performative. There's a lot more sort of performance, imaginative, creative madness happening, which I think is really exciting. But no, I think that's it. Yeah.
What do you think your greatest successes are?
Within the film festival, do you think? Yeah. What do you think?
Again, just the feeling of when the event goes well. To kind of and some of those things. I think seeing people really engaged as well. That's important, because if the group are all working together and are quite committed to it, it can become quite a special event.
And I think it's giving young filmmakers a voice, like a platform that's just theirs. I think that's really important. there's no adults getting in on it. It's young people, and it's theirs, and I think that's really, really important, and I think that's really successful. We've made sure that every single year it's run by young people for young people. So if anyone tries to like gag in on it, then it's not happening.
Because all the decisions are made by the group. So,
Yeah.
so it's very peer led, which I think is really important as well, because it's even, I think it's success in the way that it's enriched people there, because I know now a lot of people have gained new skills that they wouldn't have gained elsewhere. There's a lot of transferable skills as well, so like I think it gave me a path in life anyway.
Oh, thanks.
It'd be really good to know, I don't know if you've already spoken about this, Joe, but a little bit more about, have you already spoken about your creative kind of process from going from then to what you do now? Can you talk about what you do now?
Yeah.
A bit? Or have you already talked
No.
about it? Yeah, it'd be really good to talk about what you do now.
Okay, so the kind of weird journey that I took, really. So it started off at FAC because I was in school. I wanted to get into film stuff, but I never really had a path there because I was never really that engaged in it. So I joined FACT and ended up going on Young Liverpool Film Night, which I'm staying until they throw me out on the street.
Which will never happen.
Yeah, unless I do something really bad. But then, so and then from that point, I got involved in a lot of other things as well from FACT, which was quite good because there was opportunities to link with different people, such as Find Your Talent. Because I remember I did a music. Actually, I started learning guitar after I gained more sort of art interests and stuff like that. So I started doing that, which is now a big part of what I do. So then I started doing stuff with Find Your Talent, which was opportunities to go to London and do some stuff there, where I met people from the Tate, where I ended up doing a lot of work with those guys. So now I'm quite a lot of groups as well. So now as well I do a lot of charity work as well for sort of anti-racism charities and sort of promoting diversity and got sort of a lot of cultural inclusion and all that. So a lot of the transferable skills that I've earned from this and then being a part of other groups, it's gotten me opportunities to do voluntary stuff abroad. So I've been doing a lot of stuff in Paris and Helsinki and also a lot of stuff down in London. And now I've started working in a college as well, doing enrichment stuff as well from that point. And so now as well, a lot of that kind of is film involved. So a lot of my job now is sort of making films and music, even art pieces. So I get to do a lot of that. So, and even a lot of my personal life. So that's my goals have came from being a member of Freehand a lot of times. So I think it just kind of spun me around quite a lot. And I was always quite shy as well when I first started. But I think now it's sort of really give me confidence to go and do other things.
Brilliant.